I've been in special ed all my life, over 30 years. And one of the things that I learned early on in my educational career is that you take somebody where they are, whether a baby or a teenager or whatever. You don't try to change them to get to where you think they ought to be. You embrace them as where they are, and you go on a journey together. And again, I think I'm able to bring that to the church. I don't presume that people are, where they are in their Christian life without going on that journey, without hearing their story, without knowing their history. What did your family bring to you? And because as African American Lutherans, very few of us are born as Lutherans, so we have had a previous journey in other denominations, and I have to respect that.
Before I went into the Air Force, I was a licensed vocational nurse. Then I went into the Air Force and I became a paramedic. Always in patient care, always in an instance where I needed to listen. I needed them to tell me what was going on with their lives. And even back then, when I had no idea I'd be going into the ministry, God used me then. I remember being out on the side of a highway in the middle of nowhere with a young man, and his brains are partially in my hand, and he's crying because he said his mom was going to be so disappointed that he didn't get baptized. And I grew up in church. I've heard the words for baptism. Were they perfect? No, but you know what? I baptized him on the side of the road, and I was able to tell his mom that he was baptized before he passed away. And that meant a lot. I was told by my pastor at the time, he said, well, it didn't count, but at least it made him feel better. But God and I know it counted.
My undergraduate degree is in sociology, and I promptly put that to good work in the restaurant industry right after graduation. We had a couple ice cream shops and a small cafe, my husband and I, and then, through just a turn of events, part of my calling to ministry was realizing that I was spending more time at the church, more time in the different ministries than I was in my actual job that I was paid for. And my husband said, you know what, why don't you just make it official? When I asked him, what do you think about this thing of me going to seminary? He said, go.
Well, I think I was in mathematics, and so I think mathematics is one of those things. There's sometimes a little bit of a mental block that sometimes it's perceived women can't do math. Not true, but I think it really helped me to learn to break things down into bit by bit, and that's kind of how I go about my sermon preparation. Break things down bit by bit, so we don't feel like we have to chew the whole thing at one time, but we take it in little pieces and I try to make it so I can understand what's going on, and I think if I understand it, then I can make it more relatable and pertinent for everybody.
When I came to the church, I came basically as an educator, so the avenues and the committees and the way I entered was through education, teaching. So Sunday school was fun, vacation Bible school was fun. I enjoyed it as a lay person. But then as I really started to look at the theological aspects of it, there's so much hope and the gift we have to offer in terms of grace, peace, and love, and not just law. We have to have the law, that's a given. But what happens after the law? we know the rules, but what happens when we break the rules? And again, the grace of God is just such a loving experience for me that I just want to share it. I want to proclaim it. I want to shout it. I want other people to know that this is what the church can be, that there is grace. And to me, that's the heart of it.